website. Okay, this is the website right here. You can turn on the watersheds and the channels, and so we can go downstream right here. And you said W151?
151 and 153.
Okay, there's 153 right there. So we do have a rain gauge at Beltway 8 in the bio, which is right near that.
Yeah.
And 151, I'm looking for 151. 151, there's 151 right there. We have a rain gauge here at Piney Point. So we got a rain gauge either side of 151 and one real close to 153. So you can't put one everywhere, you know, on everybody's rooftop. So you got to have something there to work with. So these are the rain gauges along the bio. There is one at Barker. It's not working right now because we're switching from the old structure to the new structure. Harris County is going to be out tomorrow to reinstall that rain gauge.
So let me ask you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you saying that all of the gauges are going to be updated? Is that what your goal is when you?
No, the rain gauge at Barker Dam right here, the rain gauge at Addicks Dam are changing right now because of our construction.
Okay.
Okay, but you can see these are rain gauges here that are in the Addicks watershed. You can see that those rain gauges. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in Addicks, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the Barker watershed. And then we have all these rain gauges along the bio down here. You can see the color coding here. This is Buffalo Bio watershed below the dams, that dark green. This green is Addicks Reservoir watershed, and then this tan color is Barker watershed, okay? So every one of y'all have access to this on your home computer. No issues at all. Now you also have access to the Piney Point gauge at home and the reservoirs at home. So what we're going to look at right here is the Piney Point gauge. And this is a U.S. Geological Survey gauge. They are a branch of the Department of Interior, United States government. And this is going to give you the cubic feet per second flow. Like I said, we went to 1940 right there the other day. And it's going to give you an elevation. Cubic feet per second is what we actually watch. Right now, it's only at 150 cubic feet per second. Now, again, we're playing with the water right now to benefit our contractor, but we've only got a little bit of water. Our contractor knows that if it rains, he's tough out of luck, okay? This is what comes first right now. Management of water, then our contractor, then anybody else who needs water help, okay? So that's our hierarchy right now. So you can see here, we had a rain event back on the night of the 20th, morning of the 21st, and the bio went up and it came back down. Then we had this right here. This you can see how that's plateaued out right there for a little while. That was because we started releasing more water after that rain event, after the bio started falling, to empty the reservoir as fast as we could. Once the reservoir was empty, we went back to normal settings and the bio fell back off again. Okay? So any question as to what you're looking at there? So those are just two of the things we're looking at. Can't look at radar right now because it's all going to be just blank. We got good sky out there right now.
That's right.
Good.
So, and actually, I'm not a hydrologist. I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not an engineer. I look at simple stuff. I look at weather underground radar and weather underground forecast, okay? And then I am talking to my hydrologist down in Galveston who's interpreting the National Weather Service forecast. So we're taking information from different sources, melding it together to come up with the best direction we can go with the management of our water, okay?
So the reservoirs, from what I gather, they're never completely dry.
That's exactly right.
It's in real time, like you said, depending on what's happening and how much water, you can't release them before the water comes. So people thought, mistakenly, and myself included, we didn't understand why the reservoirs weren't being emptied. There was no water in them until the water came.
Okay.
Is that correct? Have I
That's
got
correct.
that right?
Okay. Which event are you talking about? Are you
Harvey.
talking, okay, Harvey.
'Cause,
Before Harvey came,
uh-huh.
the reservoirs were dry.
Ah.
Now, we did a preemptive closure.
What does that mean?
About 6 hours before it started raining hard,
Mhm.
we went and closed the dam.
Okay.
Because we knew it was gonna rain hard and we needed to do our job of holding water in the reservoir.
Okay.
As we well know, when it rains hard around here, you may not be able to get anywhere. So we did what was called a preemptive closure. We only do that when we have a prediction of a lot of rain that may interfere with our travel to the projects.
Okay.
We cannot operate our projects remotely. We do not want to operate our projects remotely because any remote operation can be hacked. That's the last thing we want, okay? So, even with our new structures, we have operation that's gonna occur right there on site. We have to go out there on site to do it. So we did a preemptive closure. At that point, it was already raining hard or starting to rain hard. We started building up water and it rained just too much.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say other than rain too
And the
much.
front stalled. I mean, the two fronts kept the hurricane in between, and that's why it didn't move up
There
north.
was the way I refer to it, there was no steering currents.
Right.
Okay? Normally, when a hurricane makes a landfall here, it's gonna take a hook, head on up, like where Harvey came in. It would have moved on inland, taken a hook and gone up through Texarkana, Little Rock, and on up towards
Yeah.
St. Louis. This cotton picking girl didn't want to do that. So a guy didn't want to do that. So it stalled because there wasn't anything to
Right.
move it on out. And we know it went back out and then hit Beaumont, which actually got hit harder than we did. They just didn't get the media coverage that we got because they're not the metropolitan area. We are. So that's what happened with Harvey. Tax day flood, the same thing. We knew there was a 4-inch rain predicted by National Weather Service. We know at 4 inches we have problems getting around in the roadways. So we did a preemptive closure. We ended up getting a 16-inch rain instead of a 4-inch rain. So, but normally, like Monday night, no, we were looking at less than an inch of rain. It actually rained more than an inch of rain, but we were looking at like a half an inch of rain Sunday night. I said Monday night, Sunday night. So we didn't feel the need to do a preemptive closure. We don't want to do a preemptive closure because once we close them, they're hard to get open again because of the weather activity. We have to be more careful once we have a pool of water that we're having to manage, okay? So we don't like to do a preemptive closure, but we know we have to be able to get there also, okay?
Are the control rooms at the dams that open the valves and so forth, are they manned 24 hours?
They are not. They are not. We don't have the manpower to do that. But again, we're watching the forecast so we can make decisions on what needs to happen.
Any time of day.
Any time of day. Yeah, any time of day, we are ready to come out and do what we have to do. Many times I've come out over my years at 2 o'clock in the morning, dodging lightning bolts. I'm building this up here so that y'all feel sorry for me. Okay? No, but you know, I have actually been chased off the structure by lightning before. So, and you'll see on the old structure, it's a steel platform. We were unprotected. The new structure, we're actually in a building. Okay, so it's a little.
Is this still a mechanical?
No, it's electrical.
Okay.
It's electrical. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
we
what
will
happens to you if the power goes out?
We have
generators?
We have 4 levels of redundancy following line power. Houston. I started to say Houston Lighting and Power. That tells you I've been here a few years. Okay. Okay. We have line power coming to the project. Reliant Energy. If that line power goes down, we have a generator that automatically turns on and powers up all the lights and everything and powers the structure. If that generator fails, we can haul a trailer-mounted generator up there and hook it into the system. If we can't get the trailer-mounted generator there, we have hand-carry generators that we can haul up there, and we can actually put a big drill on the gates and operate the gates that way. And lastly, we can actually hand crank the gates. Now, with the new ones, we've been experimenting with them and working with them and testing. That's going on right now. And in fact, I'll tell you about a big party we're having tomorrow here. But we can hand crank it. To move the gate 1/100th of a foot takes 90 cranks of the wheel. Yes. So we'll have to stand in line to do that. We're going to call all y'all to help us do that. So,
ready.
but, and that's after you get the slop out of it, because the gearing is so low that you got a lot of slop in there
Yeah.
to do that. So tomorrow, we're gonna have about 20 people here, and we do what's called a periodic inspection. Now, a periodic inspection happens on the dam every 5 years. However, when you have a new dam or a major new feature, you do a periodic inspection immediately following the commissioning of that element. We commissioned that structure 2 Fridays ago or last Friday?
2 Fridays.
2 Fridays
That was
ago?
2 Fridays, and then, yeah,
Two
because
Fridays ago.
we just
We
did the
commissioned,
generator.
meaning we